What's up, everyone? Happy Saturday. Welcome to another edition of Talking Sports with TC. I'm going to continue the 2022 NFL previews with a look at the final division in the American Football Conference, or the AFC, the AFC West. This past offseason, we saw a flurry of moves done by all four teams in the division. So let's go ahead and break it down. First, let's start off with the Denver Broncos. The Broncos made one of the biggest acquisitions in the offseason by trading for Seattle all-time great quarterback Russell Wilson. The Broncos are in win now mode. They have the defense that's been very good the last few years, but the offense is not kept up. Also, they brought in a new head coach, offensive coordinator from the Packers. Nathaniel Hackett is now the new man in Denver after 3 years of the Vic Fangio regime, which was just subpar. They do have the pieces on defense. Like I said, they got Bradley Chubb returning to form. They have Justin Simmons, their all-pro free safety. Offensively, they're loaded at running back with Melvin Gordon, and they got wide receiver help with Jerry Jeudy and Noah Fant for tight end. Now the biggest question is, can Russell Wilson lead them to the promised land? That remains to be seen. But Wilson is still in his prime. He has a few good years left in terms of him playing football. So the Broncos are actually one of the favorites to win the division and possibly make a deep run in the playoffs. Now let's head over to Los Angeles and the Chargers. The Chargers have been one of the enigmas the last few years in professional football, not just with their move to San Diego back in 2016, a move from San Diego to LA in 2016, but they've been one of the most talented teams in the NFL, but it just has not resulted to any sustainable success in terms of deep playoff runs and Super Bowl appearances. You have a stud quarterback in Justin Herbert, who is probably going to take a huge leap this year in year number 3. You bring in Khalil Mack in the trade from Chicago Bears to bolster that pass rush that already has Joey Bosa and the back end with Derwin James returning to form. You have a very good receiving core with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. The biggest question mark and the biggest thing that plagued the Chargers this past season was to play call on the first-year head coach Brandon Staley. Now, yes, he did take some chances, but he took too many chances that cost him some games. I think that Staley will need to just lay off on the risky decisions and just trust his team to make plays out there. Because like I said before, they are a talented bunch of players on both sides of the ball, but they need to overcome their own mistakes and overcome the miscalculations from their head coach in terms of play calling. So if they can get all those things in order, then the Chargers could be a serious contender as well in the AFC West. Now let's head over to Kansas City with the Chiefs. The Chiefs have made two of the last 4 Super Bowls, and they made to 4 straight AFC Championship games. They've clearly been the dominant team in this division for the last several years. When you got a stud quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, you're never out of a game. They did lose their greatest offensive weapon by trading away Tyreek Hill to the Miami Dolphins. Then comes Juju Smith-Schuster from Pittsburgh on a 1-year prove-it deal. He has not been productive and reliable because of injury the last couple of years, but the 1-year contract they gave him is more of proving it to see if he can be a reliable number 1. Defensively, they pretty much have been a pretty solid defensive team. They haven't been like top 5 or top 10 defense, but when you got Spagnuolo, who was trying to get the max out of his defensive players, and anything is possible. Losing Tyrann Mathieu in free agency is a huge loss to their secondary, but they still got Travis Kelce, they still got Nicole Hardeman, and they have Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who really needs to have a breakout season in his 3rd year being the feature back for the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid coach teams are always going to give you sound football, they're going to play physical football, and they're going to play amazing football. But has their run in the division come to an end with the improvements the other teams have made? Will remain to be seen. But in my opinion, they're still the top team in this division to win it once again, albeit it won't be a runaway like it has been the last few years. And then lastly, let's head over to Sin City with the Raiders. With all the issues that they had this past season, with John Gruden resigning after the email scandal with Bruce Allen and the Washington football team, and their wide receiver Henry Ruggs III, who just basically ended his football career and possibly his life altogether by getting involved in that horrific accident in Vegas. Rich Bisaccia, who was a longtime team's coordinator, willed that team into the playoffs, albeit they fell short against Cincinnati in the wild card round. The Raiders brass, with Mark Davis being the owner, thought that wasn't enough. So to bolster their chances, they bring in arguably one of the most consequential trades in the league the most recent years, by bringing in Devontae Adams and signing him to a 6-year mega contract to help bolster that wide receiving core. Derek Carr has proven he can win games, and the Raiders defense has actually been pretty good the last couple of years. The question is Carr the guy to take them over that step of not just getting into the playoffs, but making a deep run and going back to the Super Bowl? They have a head coach in Josh McDaniels who spent a lot of years calling plays for the Patriots. This is the second time being a head coach, and has he learned from his mistakes when he was at Denver? That remains to be seen. But you got a new coaching regime, you have a new front office, and you have some new players on that team. So whether they can build on last year's success will hinge on if those pieces and the coaching staff can mesh, and if Derek Carr can elevate his game to a whole other level. Now, as far as where this division is concerned, I stated earlier that the Chiefs are the favorite to win this division, and I do have them winning it once again, but it's going to be a very tight race. This is arguably the best division in terms of talent, in terms of overall skill on both sides of the ball in all of football. Last year was the AFC North, who was clearly the best division top to bottom. Now this year is the AFC West. So like I said, Kansas City is my pick to win it this year in the division, but it's not going to be a runaway like it has in years past. I think that all 4 teams, if breaks go their way, or wherever the case may be, if they get hot at the right time, then I think that any of these 4 teams can win the AFC West. But Kansas City is still my pick to win it once again. Fans of the show, let me know what you think. Who was the team to beat in the AFC West? Do you think that Kansas City will win it once again, or do you think that the other 3 teams will have a shot? Let me know what you think, and post your comments on the comment section at youtube.com/talkingsportswithtc. Well, that concludes another episode, and tomorrow we're going to start the previews in the NFC, and I'll start off with the NFC North. Enjoy your Saturday evening, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.